Sherry, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Nicole, can you hear us?
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I would like to say welcome to the Arlington School Board meeting. We want to say thank you to all that are in person, in our boardroom and in our hallway and attending on Zoom. I have a few announcements before we get started. Our platform that we use to run our meetings, Board Docs, is currently having a nationwide outage. So we're not able to access all of our documents. I'm sorry about that. Also, YouTube is not streaming live tonight. So we're not able to stream this on YouTube tonight. Apologies for that. That's a YouTube issue that we have no control over. We are streaming live to Zoom tonight. And so there is that part of the audience awareness announcement there for you. And then our recording will be viewable on YouTube tomorrow morning. So all of you who are looking to see it on YouTube, it will be available on Tuesday morning. We have quite a few people here in the audience and we're really excited. I'm going to try to move slowly so we can catch up because we don't have our board docs. So with that, we will go ahead and call the meeting to order. And we're going to start with our land acknowledgement, and Maddie's going to start us off with that.
We honor the first peoples of these lands by acknowledging that the area in which we gather is within the traditional territory of the Stillaguamish tribe of Indians. The Stillaguamish people have inhabited these lands and waters since time immemorial, and their ancestors have remained in this territory to this day. The Stillaguamish people have continued to practice the traditional ways of their ancestors of fishing, hunting, and gathering. The Stillaguamish tribe has had these lands and cultural traditions passed on to them by their ancestors who believe that everything has a spirit and that they are caretakers of these lands and waters.
Thank you, Maddie. Will everyone please rise, join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next, we'll have our roll call attendance. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond,
Here.
Director Kelly,
Here.
Director Watts,
Here.
President Beck. Here. Director Knapp. Here. Student Advisor Van Beek. Here. Student Advisor Phillips. Superintendent Sweeney. Here. Thank you. And next we'll have our approval of our meeting agenda. Does anybody want to change anything, or do we have a motion to approve our meeting agenda tonight?
Make a motion, we approve the meeting agenda.
I will second that motion.
It's been moved by Director Knapp and seconded by Director Diamond to approve the meeting agenda for tonight. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Aye.
Levesque. Aye. Director Knapp.
Aye.
Thank you. Our agenda is adopted. And that brings us to our approval of the minutes. We have 3 sets of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve our study session and regular meeting minutes for March 23rd?
I will make a motion to approve our study session and regular meeting minutes for March 23rd.
Second. It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Knapp to approve the March 23rd meeting. Director Diamond,
Aye.
Director Kelly,
Yes.
Director Watts,
Aye.
President Levesque. Yes. Director Knapp. Yes. The March 23rd meeting minutes are approved. And we also have special joint meeting minutes for the Lakewood School District special meeting on March 26th.
Make a motion, we approve the special joint meeting minutes for March 26th.
I will second that.
It's been moved by Director Knapp and seconded by Director Diamond to approve the special joint meeting minutes with Lakewood School District on March 26th. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond,
Yay.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Director Watts,
Aye.
President Levesque. Yes. Director Knapp. Yes. Thank you. Those minutes are approved also. And then that brings us to our special meeting event attendance for our WASDA DA regional meeting on April 20th. Do we have a motion to approve those?
Make a motion, we approve the special meeting minutes, the DA1 meeting, April 20th.
I will second that.
It's been moved by Director Knapp and seconded by Director Diamond to approve the April 20th meeting minutes. Director Diamond?
Yes.
Director Kelly?
Yes.
Director Watts?
Yes.
President Levesque? Yes. Director Knapp? Yes. All right, our minutes are approved. Thank you very much. And that brings us to the most fun part of our evening tonight, why everyone is here. We're so grateful that you could all make it here tonight. It's our Simply Amazing Student and Staff Recognition for 2026. And Dr. Sweeting is going to introduce what we're going to do tonight.
Well, this is just a special evening where we can honor people from our buildings and our schools and our sites that are simply amazing. And of course, I believe all of our staff and all of our students are simply amazing. But tonight we're going to highlight special people that have been selected. The process here is that for the students, they were selected by their staff at their building. And we're going to hear those good words about each of the students. The staff were selected by the students primarily. There were also some staff input on some of those. So we put boxes out at the buildings where the students could actually fill out a form saying, I nominate this person because they have done this. And we're going to hear some of those wonderful thoughts tonight. And with that, we're going to start with Eagle Creek Elementary, Bethany Burrows. Oh, I guess I
was gonna say, yeah.
oh, okay.
You want me to read this? Because normally Carrie would read this.
Okay. Let's do the apple.
Okay,
first.
perfect.
Sorry.
You want me to read it?
Review.
I think Carl's.
Carl's on it. Got it. Okay.
Where's the?
There he is.
We've got something special. The first one's gonna be Apple Decap Preschool. Carl Olson.
Yay. Well, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Carrie Saunders, the director of Apple Preschool. And there were, I believe, more than 21 people who had input into this. And so it's consolidated into this. So the ECAP Apple program has been part of our district for many years, supporting young children in their academic, social, behavioral, and emotional development. Carrie Saunders is the fearless leader of ECAP, and the program has benefited beyond measure from her leadership. Cheryl Blatt, who is right there, one of the 21 people who nominated Carrie for being recognized as simply amazing, has a bird's eye view of Carrie's tremendous dedication to the youngest members of our district. She works tirelessly at supporting staff, families, and students, and she gives generously of her time, talents, and training to continually seek ongoing improvement for our program and our site. We are grateful. Cheryl isn't the only one to notice Carrie's excellence. Parent Clarissa Haverfield noted that Carrie goes above and beyond for all students and shows a remarkably high level of care for all the members of ECAP. It makes Lacey Melto's day when Carrie greets children every morning, engaging and welcoming each child, emphasizing their importance and individuality. She makes sure all of the student needs are met and ensures that preschool is a warm, inviting, and exciting place for children. In Arlington's ECAP program, children are safe, growing, learning, and happy. Thanks to Carrie's kind presence, gracious influence, and flexible leadership. Carrie loves her work and she receives much love in return. This thought is best expressed by parent Hannah Stanley, who wrote, "She really does love her job, and you can see that. She knows the students and plans such fun activities. We are so amazed by her." If you want proof of the high positive impact of her leadership, one can see the results on the first day of kindergarten. Students who attended Apple clearly have strong social, emotional, language, and academic skills. Along with that, both the students and families are ready for kindergarten. This program provides so much more than just the learning provided for students. Family supports are at the heart of this program, and these families are stronger for their time collaborating with Carrie Saunders and the Apple staff. Hannah isn't the only one amazed, and we are all blessed to have Carrie as a member of our team. She truly is simply amazing.
Now, for each one of these simply amazing individuals, their pictures are hanging on the wall outside. So if you didn't get a chance to see the pictures, they're outside. And at the very, very end, we're going to take a picture of all these simply amazing people. And because of the, we have many people here tonight to celebrate, we're going to do this in waves. And so right now, I think we have mostly elementary staff and students. So once we do that, we're going to have you wave on out or move on out to the hallway, but don't leave because we're going to do a picture. Okay. Thank you. Bethany Belisle, Eagle Creek Elementary.
Awesome. I am very excited to present to you our Simply Amazing student for 2026. She is a product of Apple Preschool, actually, and her name is Summer Bodewig. She is in Mrs. Beard's 4th grade class. Summer, this is yours, and here I get to read all kinds of great things about you. Summer Bodewig truly embodies what it means to be a simply amazing student. Do you hear me? I'm talking about your sister. There we go. She consistently demonstrates all of our character traits on a daily basis. Summer shows respect to her peers and staff. She takes responsibility for her choices and demonstrates honesty and accountability every day. Summer leads with gratitude, empathy, courageous kindness, always being the first to help others, clean up, or volunteer. She perseveres and works hard in and out of the classroom. For example, this year, Summer has made special efforts to improve her attendance and shows up with a smile each day. Finally, Summer shares her creativity by teaching classmates how to crochet at recess. She's actually quite talented and she's going to be have a stand at the farmer's market here coming up. So you'll have to go check it out. Summer has a remarkable way of making those around her feel kinder, happier, and more appreciated simply by being herself. Congratulations. Our Simply Amazing staff members probably just coming in from another meeting, because that's how Kim rolls. This is a long overdue award. You had Summer, yes?
No, I did not have summer
She
because she was in
was
her first grade, but I had all of the.
Oh, yes. All right. Mrs. Deisher Allen, or we all call her the crazy lady now at school. She's developed this special relationship with a new student of ours. And we told her, you know, Mrs. Allen doesn't sleep. And she said, she's got to be crazy. I said, no, she's just very, very busy. So, there are many reasons that Kim Deisher Allen, legendary first grade teacher, deserves the Simply Amazing recognition. She runs fundraisers, has been a long-term member of the AEF, president actually, has raised 4 children in our system, and is deeply committed to Arlington Public Schools students, staff, families, and community. She has unending energy for projects and organizational skills that far surpass efficiency experts. There are so many reasons she is simply amazing. And yet the most fundamental reason is the kids that she sees every day. Her students used many adjectives to describe her. One student, Skylar, would proudly report that learning new words is one of the best parts of being in Mrs. Allen's class. Kind, nice, safe, and loving is how she described Mrs. Allen. Undoubtedly, all of these words are true. What words don't completely convey is the energy and reverence her students demonstrate when they talk about Mrs. Allen. When Ramsey shared what she liked best about Miss Allen's class, she thought hard before determining that she couldn't narrow it down to 1 or 2 ideas. And so her thoughtful one-word answer was everything. Fellow classmates agree. They simply love everything about Mrs. Allen's class. Leona reports that sometimes it's hard to get up to come to school, but that she does it for Mrs. Allen. She gives us all hugs because I say, I love you, Mrs. Allen. She also gives out Pirates Booty as a snack, which her students all know is a hug in popcorn form. And Band-Aids, don't forget those. She gives those out as well. Couple the love of Mrs. Allen with the love of school, and students get enthusiastic about learning. In preparation for a field trip to the zoo in June, Kim's students are learning about animals and writing reports about their learning. Spiders, peacocks, otters, owls, cheetahs, the list of topics is long and the students are up for the task. With all the Band-Aids, Pirates Booty, and hugs to keep them going, these kids are learning at tremendous rates thanks to their amazing teacher, Kim Allen. And I would just add that she's not just an amazing teacher, she's really an amazing colleague and friend. I've known Kim for over 20 years. My first memory of her was working, I was subbing at Eagle Creek, and she was there organizing a volunteer luncheon, even though she was on maternity leave. So she had her baby and her toddler in his little rubber boots, and he's now a grown adult, and she's been by his side, through her kids' careers. You don't go to an event that Kim Allen hasn't touched. And so we're very grateful for her at Eagle Creek.
All right, so I have the pleasure of recognizing Emily Hulse. She's a 5th grader at Kent Prairie. Emily, we'll talk about it in this, but Emily is such an amazing student. Her personality just shines throughout our school as a student leader in our announcements, in our assembly. She takes on roles that require big energy and she brings it. So she's an important part of our school. Emily is a resilient student. Wanting to achieve her best work while accepting challenges with humility and a growth mindset, she is engaged in classroom discussions, contributes to deep and meaningful ideas. She is a friend to everyone in the classroom and oftentimes seeks out those who may be feeling overwhelmed or stressed. She takes on her learning like a champion, seeks out ways to improve her foundational understanding, and always has a positive outlook. She accepted a leadership position within our school and with the unusual approach of wanting to help build a better future for our students of Kent Prairie. And not only for personal gains one might expect with this position, in fact, she has already found ways to bring in future fourth grade leaders into the leadership work to get them ready to step in that role as fifth graders. She is a giving, thoughtful student who exemplifies what every Kent Prairie student strives to be, and she should be proud of her exemplary achievements. Emily is an absolute joy to work with as a student leader. Her kind and bubbly personality shines through every time she helps with the morning announcements. She was often given the portions that needed a little extra pizzazz, and she delivered them with confidence and enthusiasm every time. Emily is always looking for ways to help, support, and encourage others, both in her role as a student leader and with her peers. She consistently models kindness, responsibility, and positivity, making her an excellent role model for others. Emily truly represents what it means to be a simply amazing student. Now, Mrs. Khan is up. I think this is the highlight of everything that Kayla looks forward to, having the spotlight on her.
Yep.
Probably as much as I do.
Yep.
All right, so Kayla Khan is one of our third grade teachers, and ask any staff member at Kent Prairie, and they will tell you that teacher Kayla Khan is extraordinary. A long-running member of the SIP team, the chair of the Sunshine Committee, cheerful and supportive colleague, excellent instructor, and a person who invites diversity into her classroom. According to Principal Van Bell, they all learn in Kayla Khan's class with high praise. And if you didn't know, she welcomes, and that's exactly it. She welcomes every single student into her classroom. It doesn't matter the needs that the student has. She would take all of them if she possibly could. So she just does such an amazing job with all of our students. If you ask Mrs. Khan's students why she is amazing, prepare yourself for a lengthy conversation. Hazen and Jameson, two of her current students, were excited to talk about their beloved teacher and her ability to engage them in thoughtful learning. Hazen shared several examples about math learning with Mrs. Khan. He appreciates that the class gets to use extra math sometimes. I think that it's good for a lot of kids because some kids don't want to do math on a piece of paper. And it challenges them to get to multiple levels. It's not, will this work? It's, can I get to the next level? We get to do math centers every week. When we get to pick from a bunch of things, a lot of kids pick IXL. Sometimes she offers a bunch of choices, and sometimes it's just one. Fellow student Jameson is in full agreement, especially where science is concerned. It's important to note that he understands that science must be more than just fun. It's about learning, but Miss Khan definitely makes it fun. Mosquitoes are a big deal in science class right now. They are working on mosquitoes and how to keep them away. She has had them build multiple mosquito traps, and in another unit construct bridges, which the kids get a huge kick out of, like how much weight their bridges can actually hold up. What's the most?
It holds students.
Yeah.
Like their body weight.
Woven throughout their comments were repeated references to Mrs. Khan's helpfulness. She is always willing to help, and there's nothing that she won't help with. She will break the work into pieces to help learning. She wants us to be able to do better, explained Hazen. And Jameson chimed in with, she always helps us when we are down. She lets us retake tests if we get something wrong. In summary, Hazen shared a remarkable insight, and she just teaches differently than a lot of teachers. She has a unique style, and it's just, Jameson finished, amazing.
Hello. I'm Sarah Durant, and I am the principal at Pioneer Elementary, and I am thrilled to introduce to you our two Simply Amazing winners, Piper Torrey and Carrie Bass. And I will read to you a little bit about them. Piper Torrey truly lives up to the title Simply Amazing. Piper is a hard worker with a bubbly personality that brightens the halls of Pioneer every day. She is a natural leader who is always looking for ways to help others and make our school an even better place. Whether she is serving as a recess helper, hallway greeter, or a house leader, Piper consistently steps up with enthusiasm and responsibility. Piper always has a smile on her face, just like she does now, and approaches everything she does with dedication and a positive attitude. She leads by example and shows what it means to be a true Pioneer trailblazer through kindness, teamwork, and hard work. I couldn't be prouder to have Piper represent Pioneer as our Simply Amazing student. Okay, we'll cheer on Mrs. Bass together. Stand her. Mrs. Bass has company too. Carrie Bass has been selected as Students Simply Amazing at Pioneer Elementary, and it is easy to see why. As our lab teacher, Mrs. Bass provides invaluable support to students in both reading and math and helping them build confidence and grow their skills every day. Mrs. Bass is known for her kindness, positivity, and engaging teaching style. She brings learning to life through hands-on, fun activities that are interactive games that keep students motivated and excited to learn. Her warm smile and friendly greetings each morning help create welcoming and supportive environment for all of our students. In addition to her hard work with students, Mrs. Bass is an outstanding resource for our staff, offering expertise and guidance in reading and math. Her dedication, enthusiasm, and commitment to student success makes a lasting impact across our school community. We are proud to celebrate Mrs. Bass as truly, simply amazing.
My Simply Amazing folks coordinated matching jackets without telling me. I'm Jamie Miller and I'm the principal at President's Elementary, and I have Rowan Hammond here, who is a fifth grader, and Melissa Giebel, who is my registrar. Rowan, if you were to ask anyone, they could tell you that Rowan is empathetic, responsible, and respectful. She is a leader in our school and serves as part of our Positive Panthers Club. Rowan is constantly looking for ways to help her school community, whether it is helping a teacher or helping other students. Her kindness is her superpower. She has demonstrated the ability to always make the kind choice, even when it's not the easiest. That kindness fills every space she's in, and it will take her so far. For these reasons and so many more, Rowan is simply amazing. Hi, Melissa Giebel. I'm lucky to have two Giebels in my building. And it's pretty important that one of the first people to greet President's students every morning is Melissa Giebel, the school registrar. Her desk is constantly crowded by kids popping in to say good morning, or to let her know the important events that have happened since they last saw her, or to invite her to a sporting event. The kids love her because she's always cheerful. Fifth grader Jesus says she always has a smile on her face, and it makes me happy to see it. Avery agrees with Jesus, claiming that Melissa's smile makes bad days better. Elizabeth notes that Melissa always gives happy thoughts to make sure people are happy and comfortable where they are. But it's more than cheerfulness that sets her apart. Kids also trust her. Tiara, one of Melissa's many fans, trusts Melissa because she keeps the gifts she's been given. And she knows some people who give her gifts away, but Melissa keeps them. Avery notes that Melissa is a really good friend. When she wants to share, she listens. Like when she dyed her hair, she was so excited for her. Linda adds that Melissa keeps secrets, keeps promises, and always tells the truth. Finally, Melissa has a terrific sense of humor. She doesn't boss kids around, but asks kindly if they will move, and she never tells them to hurry up. But Jesus disagreed about that. He said that she has told him to hurry up, but only as a joke. She has a good sense of humor. Melissa brings the smiles, the cheer, the patience, the humor, and the trust. Avery wrapped up Melissa's presence quite brilliantly when she said, "I really like how she brings sunshine to your world."
All right, so what we'll do right now is if you can, those of you that have celebrated your individual Simply Amazing, if you'll go to the hallway and just wait for the picture, that'd be great. Then we'll let the secondary come in.
Thank you.
Or you can go this way if you like. Want to try to, don't come this way, it's being heard.
Right.
Yeah, I'll just make it easier for you. All the secondary. Yeah, secondary, bring all secondary. Come on in. It's right here. Right here.
Oh, she would be.
Kennedy, come here. Hey, you know, but they're gonna be more safe compared to. Here with this. Yeah.
There's another one right here too. Front and center, but.
Hey, we're gonna go ahead and we have Principal Brooke Howe from Howard Middle School.
Brooke Howell, principal at Howard Middle School, and I am just so excited to recognize Daniel. We have had Daniel at Howard for 3 years, all 3 years I've been there. He is an 8th grader. Daniel's natural curiosity, work ethic, and willingness to dig for answers drive him to a different level of success. Your teacher said that about you. In all that he does. In projects where students might find an easier path to completion, Daniel chooses a more meaningful route that truly challenges him. Daniel is inclusive and accepts others without judgment or question, making all feel valued. Our office staff, Daniel comes in often to the office as many middle school students do, but he stood out. The staff's like, he's like no other student we've seen before. They say he's by far the most polite student that comes into the office. He always says please and thank you. He makes eye contact. He speaks loud and clear and is very respectful of the common space. Daniel, by all accounts, is simply amazing. He's also an amazing rower. Nationwide, it sounds like he's going to be something to talk about. So Daniel, congratulations. We have our Ms. Peters, our counselor, she can come up.
Yeah.
So Jen Peters, I remember her the first day I walked into Howard Middle School, and she was very, very welcoming, with a big smile on her face and just eager to talk. And she's like that every day. Our Howard Middle School counselor is truly simply amazing. Each morning, the very first thing students see as they enter Howard is Mrs. Peters, greeting them with a warm smile and music that sets a positive tone for the day. She begins every morning by creating a welcoming atmosphere where students feel seen and valued from the moment they walk through the doors. Students describe her as really fun and fantastic, someone who gives good advice and is so kind to everyone. When students are sad, this is from students' point of view, she is there. When they are mad, she is there. When they just need someone to listen and tell them exactly what they need to hear, she is there. She helps students navigate tough emotions. One student shared, "You are just funny and kind. I know that's your job, but it's true. You've helped me become who I am now. Thank you for everything you do. I love Rin." Rin, Mrs. Peters' therapy dog, brings comfort and joy to many each week. Every Friday, students eagerly anticipate visiting with Rin. Mrs. Peter is present for all 3 lunches each day. Mr. Green and I value that greatly. Visiting with students in the commons or holding social groups. She creates a safe space where students feel seen, heard, and valued because of her care and dedication. We are so grateful for the joy, compassion, and study support she brings to Haller every day. She is without a question simply amazing.
Here we go. Leslie Bonfield, the principal of Post Middle School, and I'd like to welcome up Layla Brickman and Whitney Davis. So excited to honor 8th grader Layla Brickman tonight. Layla is our simply amazing student from Post Middle School. Layla has truly risen to the role of parliamentarian on the ASB board. She consistently demonstrates strong leadership by stepping outside of her comfort zone and tackling challenging projects. She balances accountability with encouragement, which earns the respect of our peers. Those activities and projects make our community and our school a better place and inviting for students. Layla leads by example both on and off campus. She approaches everything with confidence, determination, showing initiative, taking responsibility, and supporting those around her. She's a leader worth watching and the potential to make a meaningful impact in the future. We're excited to see what she does and so honored for her to represent Post tonight. She is simply amazing. Next up is my right hand, maybe my left hand, maybe my feet some days, but my fiscal secretary, Whitney Davis. Whitney joined the post office staff team as an incredible school secretary this year, her first time in schools. Through her kindness, patience, humor, and care, she creates a warm, welcoming environment where every student and staff member feels valued and supported. Whether she's greeting visitors with a smile, helping students navigate their day, or ensuring staff have what they need, Whitney consistently goes above and beyond. She's taken initiative to problem solve and learn all of the complex systems, including covering classes and their substitute world when there are absences, as well as all of things financial. Her positive presence fosters a sense of belonging and care that strengthens our entire school community. Student Mackenzie and Evelyn shared, Miss Davis is always kind and patient with a smile for every person who she walks by, and Mrs. Davis is always nice, no matter who's in the office needing support and how they are acting. Post is honored to recognize Whitney as our simply amazing staff member. All right, from Arlington High School, if I can have Gabby Rockstead come up. I was like, where is she? You're too far over for me to find. All right, Gabby is one of our 10th graders. Everybody knows I get excited when it's an underclassman because that means I get it for longer. That's so exciting. Gabby has personally taken on working with one of our inclusion students in Spanish class and has done a tremendous job keeping him on task and engaged with the class. I been hearing about her all year, and you're good, so you're gonna come watch it. Her willingness to help others is contagious and has led the rest of the class to accept that student with open arms. He's become a full part of the classroom community, right? Yes, and all thanks to you. Gabby is truly amazing. She's going to continue to do great things for all of our students, which is huge. So an applause for amazing. Yeah, have that. Yes. Don't.
Okay, let me just get ready for this one, guys. Come on up, my friend. Come on up. This guy's gonna have his name all over Arlington High School by the time he retires, let me tell you. Stephen is one of our custodians, and when the Simply Amazing form came out, I cannot tell you how many people were like, we gotta get Stephen up there. We gotta get Stephen up there. I was like, okay, I hear you, everyone. That's my idea too, right? Okay, so it was a lot, which justly deserved. When our custodial position in the E-wing, our athletic wing at AHS opened up, Stephen reached out and requested to be moved there. I was like, are you sure? He was sure. That was good. This area had not been receiving the necessary care that it needed to be a showcase piece for Arlington High School. Arlington High School was just awarded a Best Host Award by the WIAA, and a huge part of that is due to the care that Stephen takes and has brought to fixing that area back up to its full potential and value that we have. He is conscientious, innovative, and dedicated. His high standards for making sure that our building reflects the character values we believe in at AHS are apparent in the welcoming environment that his space provides for our students, staff, community, and visitors. He was recommended so many times, and I know we would not be the same without him. We've got a stellar team, and he's such a huge part of that. Our athletic director, I want to talk about you as well. So from Tom, I want to take a moment to recognize Stephen Bassford and how much I appreciate him as our E-wing custodian. The E-wing has an additional significance as it houses our gyms and locker rooms that are constantly in use with both school and community activities. This provides a window from the public into our building and how we take care of our facilities. Stephen does an amazing job of keeping our gyms clean and safe for everyone to enjoy. Additionally, since he has returned to this position, our hallways glisten with polished wax and our bathrooms sparkle and are consistently stocked with supplies. Our locker rooms have clean floors and give a warm welcome for his visitors who might come and change in there. Stephen is absolutely the best, and we are so thankful for what he does in our wing and the impression his area leaves on visitors in our community. Our students, also athletes, student athletes, too, had some great things to say. From Micah, I have noticed recently how hard our E-wing custodian works at maintaining a clean environment in the gym spaces. I frequently notice him in the gym changing the garbage cans. Just recently, I was in the gym after school shooting with my teammates, under supervision, of course. Put that in for me. We noticed the floor is a bit dusty, and right as we were commenting on it, Mr. Bassford came in with the auto scrubber and cleaned the main gym floor. We're all very appreciative of the work he does to keep the gym clean. And from Matt, Mr. Bassford, on behalf of the students, thank you for everything you do. You don't just keep our school clean, you make it feel like a place we want to be. I especially appreciate the times you've watched over us in the gym when our coaches couldn't. It shows how much you care beyond the job. You make a difference. Thank you. And from his wife in our hallway conversation, one of the things she noticed about him initially, the floors where he worked were so clean, you could eat off of them. And she's like, quality guy right there. Right? Yeah, right. So round of applause. We love Stephen. Ew.
Hello, I'm Carrie Marsh, here to represent Still-Squamish Valley Learning Center, and I have Kendall Gilbertson here. Kendall is a student whose confidence in her abilities has grown exponentially in the last couple of years. In the short span of 2 years, she has grown from a student that was nervous to be at school to a leader in our classroom. She loves being at school and makes the most of every minute. She worked hard through adversity and persevered through challenging tasks to get to where she is. And get to where she is as a student, and we couldn't be more proud of her. She has grown from a first grade reading level to being nearly on grade level in 1 year. That comes with a lot of hard work, right? She constantly is encouraging to other students, being everyone's first and last cheerleader through each subject. Even if it's not her strong suit, she always wants to help others do well. Kendall seeks out opportunities to help and include others with schoolwork, with playtime, or simply just talking with someone who might be alone at the time. She always wants others to feel welcomed and comfortable at school. There's no other way to put it. She is simply amazing. And our simply amazing teacher is Tomas Ramirez. Mr. Ramirez is our middle school science teacher. He is simply amazing and has made a profound impact on our middle school community during his short 2 years at SVLC. As a dedicated science teacher and sixth grade homeroom teacher, he brings energy, kindness, and inspiration to everything he does. He clearly loves the subject of science and finds creative ways to explain even the most difficult concepts while still making learning fun and engaging. He also designs thoughtful home learning assignments that make learning at home meaningful while providing strong support so students can complete their work with confidence, including creating his own videos so they never have to feel like they have to learn on their own. Students consistently share how helpful and engaging he is, turning science class into something they genuinely look forward to each day, even when they don't feel excited about school in the morning. His ability to make learning fun while also being supportive and encouraging has made him not only an awesome teacher, but also a positive role model for many of our students. Mr. Ramirez's great attitude and commitment to his students truly make a difference in their lives. Teachers, families, students, and staff at SVLC all agree that Mr. Ramirez is simply amazing.
Parker Henderson is a junior at Weston, and it has been a privilege to have Parker as a part of our community. Parker brings a rare steadiness to each day. Parker's calm, grounded, and dependable in a way that positively shapes the spaces that Parker enters. When challenges arise, as they inevitably do, Parker demonstrates genuine resilience, finding a way to regroup, refocus, and continue moving forward with quiet determination. Parker consistently advocates thoughtfully and effectively for what is needed, showing both self-awareness and maturity. Most importantly, Parker is unapologetically authentic. Parker simply is one of the coolest individuals we have had the pleasure of knowing at Weston. Parker is, in every sense, amazing. Lynette Ziegler, special education teacher. Lynette has been selected as Weston's Simply Amazing staff member this spring, and it's easy to see why. Students describe her as not only an exceptional teacher, but also a genuinely kind, safe, and inclusive presence in their lives. In her classroom, all students feel welcome, seen, and valued. Whether helping a student work through a challenging math concept or offering support during difficult moments, Lynette consistently shows up with patience, care, and understanding. Students shared their appreciation for how she helps them get back on track, both academically and personally, often going above and beyond to ensure they feel confident and capable. Her impact reaches far beyond the classroom. She is someone students trust, rely on, and are deeply grateful for. Lynette embodies what it means to be simply amazing.
So we are so proud of all of these individuals. We thank you for coming tonight, but I know that now we're gonna have that picture. So I'll let you, Mr. Sable, where do you want them?
Yeah, so if all the Simply Amazing students and staff can go in the hallway, we'll take a picture on the south stairs here.
You have to tell those out there too.
Yeah.
Let's go. Every single one of them.
Well, while Gary's out there taking pictures of a million people. That was incredible. That was just incredible. That was just simply simply amazing. We can see.
Nobody saw it.
Nobody saw it.
Oh, yeah, like.
There you go.
There you are.
That's so sweet. Y'all do better next time. Tip me off, guys.
So the next thing on our agenda is our public comment portion of our meeting. Mr. Young, could you maybe shut that door? Is there more people coming in? Yeah. And the next item on our agenda is our public comments, and we do have one person that has signed up to speak tonight. And I see her in the back. Before I call her name, I'm going to read our little script that we have for our public comment portion. The board recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of involving members of the public in its meetings. Anyone addressing the board tonight, whether it be in person or virtually, has agreed to follow the instructions for public comment and limit comments to 3 minutes. The board does not respond to questions during the business meeting in order to comply with the state of Washington's Open Public Meetings Act. The board's silence does not signal agreement or endorsement of the speaker's remarks. Depending on the nature of your topic or questions, the superintendent may ask staff to contact you to answer questions or provide information. The board president may interrupt or terminate an individual statement if it is uncivil or exceeds the allowed time. Each speaker will be given one opportunity to speak. So I want to welcome Hillary McGuire to come on up to the podium. Thank you for coming tonight.
And then impulsively decided to speak. It's not my comfort zone. Okay, hi, my name is Hillary McGuire and I'm a para at Post. We are in the middle of state testing and everyone, both students and staff, are exhausted and it's only Monday. I was at home literally napping when I found out some of the counseling hours are in discussion of being used. I was not planning to be here because I had a Zoom de-escalation training today. I had to cut my participation short because I am concerned you don't have a full understanding about the needs of Post. At my school, we are diving into our personal why for our Friday hours. Mine is to be the adult I needed when I was a student. While I am doing those trainings on my own, I am in no way qualified to counsel students, even if it is my why. So before you vote to cut funding that will permanently negatively affect students' mental health, please come visit Post. Talk to Josh and Preston and Alex and Carrie in person. Or come visit any class and talk with our excellent teachers. I work with the SLE program. 4 times this year, I have visited the counselor because the needs were above my ability. I have visited the counselor because the needs were above my ability. There were times the counselors weren't available. In those situations, I was able to see Alex, who is the student support advocate, to help my student. But sometimes they just had to be on the waiting list. All of this to say middle school in self is challenging. Post is a challenge. Heck, to be alive in these divided times are a challenge. So I encourage you to join me in my why and be the adult you needed as a student. And please don't cut our counseling staff. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Next up is our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second. It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Knapp to approve the consent agenda. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond?
Aye.
Director Kelly?
Aye.
Director Watts?
Aye.
President Levesque? Aye. Director Knapp? Aye. Thank you. The consent agenda is approved. And next, that brings us to our new business portion. And the first item on our new business portion of our meeting tonight is our report of donations approved by a superintendent for April.
So there were 3 donations, all of them from Pioneer PTSA. The first one was for $1,226.35 for phonemic awareness and ELA manuals for kindergarten. That's a good thing. The next one was for $1,419.81 for mystery writing school membership. And the third one was for $2,330.05 for fraction manipulatives for 4th grade. So good things. Thank you, Pioneer PTSA.
Thank you. That brings us to another really exciting portion of our meeting tonight is our financial highlights of our current budget. I'd like to welcome Gina Zutenhorst, our Executive Director of Financial Services. Good evening.
Good evening. So here we go, got the clicker. We have officially closed out the month of March, and I'm ready to share with you the highlights of where we're at in our financial status. The financial health of the district, the main things still hold true. Community support of our school levies, special education safety net, that we are slated to probably be getting one of the biggest safety net reimbursement payments that we have seen in quite a while. So that's a really good positive thing to be looking forward to. The K-3 and physical, social, emotional support ratios, we're meeting them. We continue to meet them. There's checkpoints at multiple times of the year. And the most recent one was March, and we're still on. So this is good. Fund balance and OSPI financial indicator scores, they increased for 24-25. And that's a good foundation for the year we're in. But on to our financial challenges. Many districts across the state are in financial difficulty. And for Arlington, we know, and we're not forgetting, that we've made budget reductions in 23-24 and 24-25. I want to also point out repeatedly now too that we have future expenditure needs that we need to be preparing for. And the new picture on there, it's a picture of what is half book and half electronic technical device. We have technology needs that we will be facing down the barrel of in the very near future. And our enrollment reality of 25-26 is that we had 89 students less than we had budgeted and planned for. And that equates to about $1.2 million less revenue if you include also a reduced transportation department revenue. We have established an interfund loan authority. Resolution gave us authority to be able to give ourselves an interfund loan from the capital projects funds for the low points in our fiscal year where we have low cash balance. And we'll look at our fund balance chart shortly, but we have not had to utilize that interfund loan yet this year. So that is also very good, but we are still going to be in the very low point in June. As you can see, the chart here, we look at each month. Where we're at for March is at about $696,659 for March. So you can see that the little dot is starting to go back up, as is the trend for this time of year, and that it will go back up even more in April as the property taxes for April are collected for us through the Snohomish County Treasurer's Office, and they pass it through for us. But we won't be avoiding that June low point, and we will have to utilize our interfund loan authority at that time. We will be able to pay it back in full with interest by the end of the fiscal year. So, and I just said all those points. So, what's new? Our state audit is underway. We have the state auditors here as we do each year. They are doing their audit mostly remotely. And They are doing a financial statement audit of the 24-25 fiscal year that is closed out. And they are also doing a federal single audit, which is about the federal compliance with our grant programs and our grant fundings, and a report on our internal controls. And they'll also give us an opinion and a report on accountability and legal compliance. So we're in the middle of that. And then we've been doing our 26-27 budget briefings, and these monthly reports always segue right towards what we're positioned for or where we're at in our progress towards developing the next year's budget. And we are continuing to communicate about the tough reductions that we're attempting and working towards making for the next fiscal year. Call that the list of really bad ideas because they're very hard. So that's it for the present month reporting. Are there questions that I can help you with?
About the interfund loan, there's a slide that's at a $2 million capacity.
Yes.
Will that change next year? Is that gonna get lower?
As our fund balance increases, we should be able to decrease what we would need in June. And ideally, we would have enough fund balance that we don't need to get an interfund loan in June or any part of the year at all. But yes, the higher our fund balance is, the less reliance we would need to have from an interfund loan.
Any questions? Nicole or Sherry, do you have any questions from the ceiling?
No, I was just observing the trend line. I was just, I like that we're bringing it a little bit up, but I do get concerned what it will look like come June. So just curious what that might look like. We're above, if I can look at that correctly, above where we were last year with 24-25. So yeah, hopefully
Yes.
won't need too much to borrow though. Thank you, Virginia. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. I don't have any other questions.
Next on our agenda is our 26-27 budget development briefing and reduced education program.
Here we go. Budget briefing and reduced education program. So I'll share some of the details of what we're looking at as far as a plan for reducing for next year. Our annual budget cycle, it is really a whole year process. And we're really starkly right in the middle of it in the spring, where we've identified parameters and we've identified that we need to make some reductions, and that if we need to make reductions, certain kinds of reductions, that we would do that through a reduced education program, which is done through board resolution approval. And so that's what we're working towards. And I'll show you more of the timeline that I'd like to keep it, remembering about that. Here's the general time frame for when you'll see me for approving the F-195 and draft versions of things, and when do we actually approve the final official formal budget. Because it's quite a long process. And we're right here in March, April, where we would be, the timing is right for having to, if we need to, which we do, approve a board resolution reduced education program. And again, that follows with some of the deadlines that we need to meet for our certificated staff. By law, that we have to inform certificated staff if their contract is not reviewed by May 15th. So it's still well in advance of when we will have a draft budget that's in the format that is required by the state, which will be July. And then the final that we would propose to the board for approval is in August. We have a public hearing then and adoption proposal then. By law, boards must approve by August, a final budget by August 31st. So progress on 26-27's budget development. Each of our meetings, we have been consistently identifying that the range of reductions that we need to make is within 3.5 to 4.5 million. And that has not changed. We've gotten further with our revenue estimates. So we have our state and local funding estimates, pretty solid. that I'm confident that that's what we'll be getting. And then federal funding estimates were pretty flat. We don't know exactly what we'll be getting for those allocations yet. We believe we will be getting them fully as very similar to what we have received this year. So we're just estimating at this moment flat revenues in federal. When we get an updated number, then we can really start aligning our expenditures against those programs that are federal programs. For the expenditure side, bigger picture, we're doing in whole, in total, all of our staff classified, certificated, all of the benefits, all of the rates, and continuing to extensively analyze that data. Make sure that it's complete. Make sure that all the rates have been applied exactly as they should. Make sure that all the staff are supposed to be in there that are in there, and that we can start identifying some of the positions that maybe aren't going to be here next year. What is that savings? So we're continuing to look at those numbers. The costs for materials, supplies, and other costs, that is called MSOC. That work is very much still underway. We have big numbers for that. We don't have it drilled down into the details yet. So the big number is high level, and it may be less than what we have targeted at this point that we think it will be. But we have to go through the process and trust that process so that we can make sure that our details are accurate and reasonable. So we'll be reevaluating those totals against our revenue estimates. And as part of the budget process, we also will be bringing forth a 4-year budget and enrollment forecast. So we're still working on that. I don't have that to show you yet, but I am going to be able to show you a preliminary revenue summary. So this is still high level, but we have the detailed support underneath it as far as the categories that roll up into these figures. So if you just look at it like this is budget to budget. What did we budget for 25-26? And a budget is just an estimate. It's not actual dollars. It was the budget that we started with. What did we budget for 25-26 compared to the budget for next year's revenues? And at glance, that doesn't look too terrible. 126,000 more than last year. Seems kind of flat, correct? But I'm going to prepare to make you think, because I'm going to show you some different comparisons. There's a lot of ways to look at this number and this data, and you have to really understand which way you're coming at it to get the context of how does that mean? How could it be this and yet we're reducing, or those kinds of questions that we all ask ourselves when we're looking at data, to think, is that reasonable? Does that make sense to me? How can I test it? I'm going to isolate this down to the state revenues, and the state is the primary funding source for the district. So we're going to look at that in more detail. We're isolating the state revenue from budget to budget. So just state revenue compared to the budget for last year and compared to the budget of what I'm projecting for next year, it's net about $462,000 less. But let's look at this, break it down a little further. So that 25-26 budget is what we planned, but then the year started and we have less enrollment than we had estimated, less than we planned. And so now the state is adjusting down what they're going to give us. So if I look at the budget for this year, revenue in the state dollars, and I compare it to what I'm anticipating we're actually going to get now that I know what the calculation is with the less enrollment, that's about 1.2 million less than what we thought we were going to get just for this year. And so I'll put that in context again for you in a different way, because I did say that number, that 1.2 million less number in just the previous presentation, talking about our current financial condition, that we were getting about 1.2 million less. I'm sorry if this is going to be confusing, but if you look at it and study it,
later too. You'll kind of get a sense of where I'm going with this. So still just isolating our current, the state revenue. If I take that actual year-to-date estimate of what I think we're actually gonna get in our pocket for 25, 26, that's state revenue, and I compare it to the budget for next year, what I think we're gonna get, the projection of revenue, it's 776,000 more than what we're getting this year. And this is the last and final hit to look at the bottom chart, because those numbers don't sound too terrible, do they? But if I compare a year ago, what I thought we were going to be getting in 26, 27, based on enrollment that we thought we would have, that future out year, the old one, the old estimate, and compare it to my new estimate of what I think we're gonna get next year with updated enrollments, less students, it's actually $3 million less that we have to make adjustment to, and this are round figures. And so I'm just trying to illustrate, there's so many different ways to look at budget to budget, actual to budget, old estimates, new estimates. And so I'm just trying to give you some context as we look at a working forecast, adjusted forecast, preliminary for 26, 27. And I'm using a 25, 26 first and foremost to kind of show where at this moment, where we're projected to end our fund balance with for 25, 26. And I push that forward to the beginning balance for 26, 27. Pop in the new revenue estimate that I have used with the new enrollment estimate. And if I take expenditures, that's still a high level, but I've adjusted it by 3.5 million, just dropped it down by 3.5 million. That has us ending with a fund balance of 1.2 million for 26, 27. I do believe that we're going to get a better picture as we get deeper into the true budget of all the details so that everything can roll up to support those big figures. For example, it's possible that our fund balance will be higher than 2 million to end this year, which puts us in a better position for next year. Our safety net funds will boost that. And there's some other things that may boost that. We may not spend as much as we budgeted to spend in this current fiscal year. If our materials, supplies, and other costs comes in lower than our complete total budget capacity was for spending, that will increase our beginning fund balance as well. And also the last factor, I believe I have estimated on the higher side to be conservative for next year's materials, supplies, and other costs. So all of those combined may help our fund balance, but it's not going to change what we need to reduce by. Because as you saw the presentation before, that we are doing interfund loans to get through low points, which is a signal that our fund balance is too low. And as a nature, it's a matter of significance across the state. It's a matter of significance to the state legislature. They had some laws and bills that they were considering this last session about and around fund balance and the concerns around school districts and solvency for school districts and the ability to provide the educational program that our public and our community expect. So there's the preliminary forecast. And now moving forward to this is a picture of the plan that we will be proposing to you as part of the next agenda item for reduced educational program resolution. And it is broad categories. It is difficult to be the right level of information at this particular point because individuals, some of this would be affecting individuals
Some of this is not really going to affect people because it's retirements or resignations where positions won't be filled and things like that. So there's a delicate balance for what we're able to roll out as far as details supporting what some of the options or ideas are within those. But we do have admin, district office, employee and non-employee costs is, and we've equated a value of about 1.35 FTE with that. That could be not just people, that could be in the form of furlough for some. And we've got school building certificated staff employee costs on there. And we have equated that with a value of 15 FTE. Some of that is retirements, resignations, or leaves of absence that were where potentially we're not backfilling this next fiscal year. So we also have school building and support. There's classified staff employee costs. We have 6 FTE there. And we have special education. There are some classified staff employee costs that we're identifying about in the range of 10. Now, some of that also may be, it's hard to explain this, contractual services. Sometimes we have ability to shift over to hiring our own employees rather than putting contracts out to agencies. So some of that may be materialized in the form of contractual service reductions too, if we can put our own staff on that instead. And then school budgets, programs, there's a few things in there. School supplies is, or school building budgets. We're not cutting them, but because there's reduced enrollment, they are receiving less in their building budgets. Their discretionary funds that principals and assistant principals manage and make decisions are in their school buildings. And also summer school, as we've come to and discussed summer school in the past, how our tuition is that we've charged in the past for summer school isn't sufficient to cover the actual cost of the program, and that we run at about a deficit of about $35,000 for providing the summer school, and that it doesn't, the state doesn't provide funds for that. And as we've learned that there are a lot of other opportunities that happen throughout the year for students who might be in need. So we made that tough decision to put it on the list of really bad ideas, because none of these are, and none of this is things we can spare. So it's not to be perceived as extra or that we can do without, but sometimes we have to. And so it's a list of really bad ideas is what I would call it. Stealing that phrase from other districts that I've heard describe their process and how hard it is. And last, we did include a little contingency within the plan for other potential savings or reductions under consideration. So there could be things that happen between now and budget approval time that we might find other ways to have savings. So we want to try to acknowledge that in the plan as best we can ahead of time. So what if it's still not enough? It's just been really hard. You know, there will be an imperative upon us to remain solvent, and that could force deeper cuts. I think we have a pretty good ability with what we've identified to be in the right place now going forward for 26, 27. So I'm not anticipating having to come back with a massive swing. But as we talk about the resolution too, in the next agenda item, there are provisions in there that talk about if there's significant differences that come along, that we come back and talk about it. Going back to the official budget document, we call it the F-195. And it's a state required format, and we'll be bringing a draft of that to July 13th meeting, July 13th. We have to publish a draft by July 10, and we make it available to the public. We'll post notices on our website, and anybody who would like a copy of that or access to that, there'll be a link there that they can see the whole detailed budget. It is hundreds of pages, so it's a lot to take in. But I'll be providing summaries at that time too, so that people can understand what is this report actually telling me. Yeah, so for now, are there any questions?
Do we have information on the retirements or resignations or anything like that yet?
We have for certificated staff, for the most part, certificated staff who let us know by February 15. There are some that did let us know by that date, and then we're able to utilize that in our planning. It really, really is a benefit to us when staff let us know early. So February 15 was the first round. April 15 was another deadline of sorts that staff who would like to be on a leave of absence request by. For certificated staff, again, this is certificated staff, April 15. So those bits and pieces of information really help. So we do know those pieces.
Is that included in this? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, mostly the certificated is, it's mostly attrition. There could be some non-renewals, but it's mostly attrition. That's certificated. There could be the other area, you know, like in classified, we're still working through that. It doesn't, there's not as tight of a deadline for that as there is with inserts.
Good question. Any other questions?
No, none for me. It's just a lot to take in. Thank you, Gina.
Great. Thank you.
All right, go ahead and talk to us about the resolution.
Okay.
602.
Okay, so next up, adoption of resolution 2602 for a 26-27 reduced educational program.
This is the resolution that we have utilized in the past, very similar formatting and very similar to what other districts have described. It just gives the conditions as to why we're needing to make reductions and broadly where we're going to make those reductions. It talks about the plan that is attached to this as a third page. And that is what was also included in the presentation, the PowerPoint that we just looked at. So it's referenced in the narrative of the resolution as the attached plan. And it also, you'll see there that it gives delegation of authority to Chris as superintendent to proceed with actions as necessary for the staffing if there were to be reductions in force. And we have time in some cases to carry that out and figure that out still. But it also, number 3 talks about if it's different, then significantly different than what we anticipated that we come back.
If you go down and can you go back down to so in those areas, we're still trying, keep going. Thank you.
Thank you.
In those areas, we're still pretty much trying to hone in on exactly what positions, identifying individuals. Yeah, we're still working on that, in particular in the classified area.
So nothing right now is super specific. They're trying to just limit the impact is what I'm understanding.
Right. For this, the resolution just gives authority for the ability to do this, but the reductions. But I will say under certificated, we're all to the point we have names. for those, because it's the people that are retiring, they're resigning. We have some leave of absences, so if someone's gonna leave, then we ask the question, are we gonna replace it or not? So that's pretty set. The admin, that's set. We have an admin that is the board already approved for the retirement that we're not backfilling for that. And so it's mainly the classified we're looking.
I have a question. If I was a staff member and I was watching this board meeting, I might be really scared for the future. When would they be notified that this position is going to be affected, or this position is going to be affected? I know certificated, we have to let them know by May 15th. Would we let them know earlier?
We would let people know as soon as possible. It's not gonna be something that we would just hold in abeyance or hold to ourselves if we know. And I think that this is our first step to even have the progress towards, I think we might be going this direction. We're going this direction and we need time to be able to talk to people about how could this work? If we were to do this, could we really do it, or how? And also in the meantime, other things change, or other people might put in their notice, which gives us a whole nother scenario to potentially consider in maybe we don't need to let go over here. We can let go here instead. But I don't know, because we don't have the names yet. We'd have to also work through, if it were to be a reduction in force, we have to work through seniority with that. We have to make the correct notices with our labor negotiation groups. So I don't have a timeline exactly for that.
On the certificated, a lot of that was, we have ratios, and so with the decreased enrollment that we had this year and that we're projecting for next year, we are aligning the staffing, the certificated staffing, to those ratios for the decreased enrollment. And that plays out with some other classified as well. And we're just trying to, realign there.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So I'm trying to think about what you had public comment from Post, and when we had that comment about concern for losing staff for mental health. If someone could clarify that a little bit for me, was that telling us that we could possibly be losing counseling or a portion of counseling for our students at Post Middle School?
Well, I will say that, the comment tonight is gravely considered, and we're still considering the needs. We know that the FTE here represents those people that already resigned, those people that are retiring, and the people that are on leave of absence. We are still considering changes in the field of counseling per se. We know the needs. The needs are greater than we even have staff for right now,
Right.
But we are looking at some readjustments based on the ratios. So that's what I'll say.
Okay. And I know that we've worked, I think it was Artists, but different, like Catholic Charities. There's a couple different organizations, I believe, that we have contracted with. Are there any possibilities of, getting additional services outside the district that would be contracted that could help fill those needs?
We're doing that all the time, Sherry. We want to be seeking any grants, to add more, because yes, the mental health that we have through Stoli Valley Health Connections, that's awesome. And also through the county, our student support advocates. So yes, we're going to say yes to all of those opportunities.
Yeah, I figured. I just kind of want to put it out there. So I wanted to be a voice on the board for our kids and our staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Nicole, any questions from you?
No questions, just a lot to take in, a lot to consider.
Director Nat, any questions?
I don't have any questions. It's a lot of information and I understand what you're saying that as it looks now, it can shift and change. So, we will keep an eye on it. We'll keep us informed.
Right, this is an action item. Do we have the motion to approve the adoption of resolution 2602, 2627 reduced educational program?
We'll make a motion to adopt the resolution 2602.
It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Knapp to approve resolution 2602, 2627 reduced educational program. Madam Clerk. Director Diamond?
Yes.
Director Kelly?
Yes.
Director Watts?
Yes.
President Linek? Yes. Director Knapp? Yes. Thank you. That motion is approved. Thank you, Gina, for your hard work in this really tough decision. That brings us to our Magic School Service Agreement. My husband wants to call it Magic School Bus. I don't know if anybody else does. We'd like to welcome up Dr. Matt Jurek.
Chief Geek.
Chief Geek, I like it. Our Director of Technology Extraordinaire.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, board. Thank you for having me tonight. So I'm here to give a little bit of an update on artificial intelligence. It's a hot topic. It's been a hot topic and it's only getting hotter. We've been discussing this at length, both within the department and within the Technology Advisory Committee for some time. And so we have a couple of updates to present with you tonight and also to seek your approval on a path forward for next year. So just as a little bit of background, some of this may be very evident or you may already know, but generative AI, those chatbots you interact with, folks, they're very popular. They're being used by everybody, including our staff and our students. We see this. It's been an increase. We're seeing it on our network traffic. We see it here in the district. We know it's also happening at home and on the devices, both personal and district owned. These and other tools, they have amazing potential to benefit education, but they also have some pretty significant downsides if they're ill utilized. Including addiction, unhealthy emotional connections to chatbots. We're seeing a lot of alarming reports coming out about that with students and adults, honestly, forming these personal connections with not real people, and data privacy concerns, unethical use. So there's a lot of things to be cautious about. The TAC has crafted some new AI procedural guidance that's outlining some do's and don'ts around how to use this new technology tool set. And the TAC and the technology department evaluated and recommended an AI platform that will help us ensure some safe, effective, and ethical use by our users. So it's kind of a bit of a two-pronged approach. Not that it's a race, but we are behind. We're behind the schedule on this. We're not alone. There are many districts that are still struggling to come up with some guidance and a path forward around AI, but there are other districts that are pioneering forward and doing great things. Not that we need to be on the bleeding edge, but we do have some catching up to do, especially with the severity of AI increasing the longer we wait to take action. So around the AI procedural guidance, we initially started this work in the TAC as a standalone policy procedure. Later, we pared this down so that it would fit within our existing electronic resources internet safety or 2022P. This is a starting point. We understand that this is going to be fluid and we're going to evolve this document as the technology and as our use of that technology evolves. Some key pieces that this procedure, this language will include are some standard AI level language so that teachers have a common language to use for when they can let their students know what's acceptable AI use for different assignments. Use disclosure expectations for staff and students so that there's some transparency in when AI is being used. General acceptable and unacceptable uses. Adoption of this new guidance is expected by the end of the school year. Which brings us then to the AI platform piece. So in the absence of procedural guidance, we have the technology department this past year and last year, we've deferred to Google and Securely, which are our two main platforms for helping keep things safe online. to determine what users have access to as far as AI tools. We haven't intervened. We haven't allowed things that were blocked, and we haven't blocked things that were allowed. Just in the absence of having any procedural guidance, that's the stance that we've taken. There are tens of thousands of web-based AI tools out there in varying degrees of free. And as we know, at least in technology, if you're not paying for the product, then chances are you are the product. So it's very concerning when there are this many free platforms out there that are so inviting, that help expedite some of the tasks that we do every day. And there's promise here. There's that allure, but then there's the danger of when we're feeding it information that we don't know what happens to after the fact. So we know that our staff and our students are already using AI. Our approach should be to guide, not to inhibit. And so our recommended action is to provide our users with a safe, vetted, feature-rich set of AI tools, educational in nature, and then also implement some really strong, rigorous professional development around these tools so that everyone knows how to utilize them. Which brings us to Magic School. So we've been doing some evaluation of different tools. Magic School is kind of it's come out pretty far ahead of the rest. It's the leading educational AI platform in the world. Right now, it's up to 8 million users. And we have 90 of them here in the district who have been using it over the past 18, 24 months. They've been using the limited free version of the tools. This is a very education-specific platform. So it was designed as an education platform, not as an AI platform retrofitted for education, which is really key. It exceeds all the data privacy standards. It's already been adopted by more than 35 districts here in Washington State. And 70% of our staff, which again, our end value is a little low on that. But those who do complete the survey recommended or strongly recommended Magic School for other educators. So what this looks like, and I'll give you a little bit of a kind of a walkthrough, a demo of the platform if you'd like, answer some questions. But what this looks like for this service agreement that we're proposing includes, and this is the really key piece, is that we need to have that strong professional development element so that our staff understand how to use it and how to use it safely and how to integrate it into their lessons. This includes a 4-hour in-person training and 9 one-hour virtual trainings that allow us the flexibility to schedule these by discipline, by grade level, by building. So we can get really flexible in how we do these. They're virtual, so they can be different times. The initial thinking right now, so Executive Director Henderson Burke and I are working on what this could look like if we were to move forward on this. We would do some this spring just before we go into summer to get some juices flowing, let people play with it over the summer at their leisure, and then come back in the fall with a little bit more of a robust return to how we're going to implement this year. Which brings us to the service agreement. So it's really, really hard. I want to stress this coming to you after especially that conversation from Gina. Our service agreement right now, what this looks like is that we have with Magic School potential of a 3-year plan. We have already within the technology department allocated the money for next year if we were to do this. So out of this current MSOC, we would be able to pay for the next 16 months. So it's actually 12 months. They would give us 4 for free so that we would have time for implementation, training, early access. We've reprioritized funds within the technology department budget. So this would not exceed our existing budgetary footprint. And it does not make any commitment for us for next year or future years. This just locks in pricing. If we were to decide after this first year that we can't afford it, or we don't like it, or any other option there, we don't have to continue it at no penalty. But what this does give us is that 4 complementary months, plus it gives us all that professional development that we can front load. And it gives full access to the entire platform for all of our staff, students, and teachers. Some of the things that we've done, we've been able to cut a couple of services that tech has used. We've been able to kind of streamline some of our processes so that we're able to cut some services out that we don't use anymore. One of the benefits this year is that we saw a little bit of a savings when OSPI picked up the tab for Zoom, which was great because as a district, we were paying about $8,000, $9,000 a year for Zoom, and they paid for that this year. So that's a savings that we were able to, put toward that. So I could dive into any of these particular topics. I did make it available in your board packet, or it will be made available for you, but you'll have the full slide deck so that you can go through, take a look at different pieces, things around data security, the grade band usage, how this ties in with UDL and MTSS efforts, special needs, things of that sort. So all of those are available to you. But with that, I think I just want to open it up to a Q&A for you.
Not a question, but a comment. The district that I work for in Redmond uses Magic School. It's fun. Like it's first was a little low key as far as features and stuff like that. I think it was also a little slow to roll out to the staff. But we didn't have the trainings. Like nobody knew it was on our platform. But playing with it, we were able to make slides and stuff. So it helps as far as like education. So I'd be curious to see if you get the word out, how the data that you get from the staff and what they think about it. 'Cause, I mean, I like it as far as like an education AI platform. So it's just more of a comment. Like I used it, like it's not bad.
What we would definitely, this would be a very structured implementation for this next year. So we would want to do this properly. So the full plan around professional development, also having regular conversations, doing check-ins, surveys periodically, so that we can see, because we would want to know by the end of this, next year, especially as we're really taking close eyes to everything that costs anything. Is this effective? Is this worth it? Is this advancing what we?
I think that was kind of more to my point. It's like you were able to save money this year in your budget to then pay for next year. Then is it going to be worth it? Like, are people using it? And I think getting the information out and letting people know what it is, that was our problem. So
the communication piece, yeah.
Dr. Jurek, my question is, how does this differ from like a ChatGPT or other AI that teachers are already using?
Great question, Director Kelly. So this is very specific to education. So there's a lot of safety and security pieces that are built in. That's the first piece. So things like ChatGPT, Claude, made by Anthropic, Gemini, Copilot, all of these commercial platforms, and then some. There is no guarantee made to the end user what the data that is fed to those services, what's going to happen to them. So they can be repackaged, they can be sold, they can be used to train the models. This is very common on these high-tech platforms. Whereas Magic School is completely 180 from that. So none of the data that we feed into the platform are used to inform the platform. It stays local and it stays controlled within our district. So it's very safe to use. Whereas other platforms like ChatGPT, the huge no-no would be putting in any student PII. Names, date of birth, anything related to a student. Magic School, it is 100% safe to do so. So it's a great training platform in that regard to get more teachers and staff to start to use the platform without the fear that they're going to accidentally insert something that's going to be a bad thing. So it gives us a safer kind of a playground for people to learn. But there's also the student element to it. And so there's two sides to Magic School. The first is the teacher tools. Let me see if I have. The first is the teacher tools where, I have to change my share. Sorry. Where those are tools that are designed for teachers to use with planning for different curricular activities. So it's teacher work, excuse me.
Right.
Let's see, that's what I want. And then the second piece to that, where the other platforms don't have anything, is there's the student facing. When technology failed you. I need tech support.
So you're basically talking about two sides to this. You're talking about the educators themselves using it for their lessons, as well as students. I teach first grade, so my first graders are not on a chat session, but you're talking about middle high school level or something. If they were doing it, you feel very, very good about the safety of them accessing, and it's education oriented.
Yes.
Okay.
So here, this is kind of the platform. On the side, you'll see there are Magic tools for teachers. So they're the teacher tools, and these are all different tools that come preloaded that are ready to go. These are all different things like text translators, or SMART Goals Creator, choice boards for UDL, standards unpackers, things that can help teachers. And they go in, they can click on it, they can see an example of how this tool could be used. So then they can model it for their own purposes. But then on the side, there's also the Magic Student. And this is where we would have conversations internally about where it makes the most sense to roll this out for student use. So these are student-facing tools that teachers can curate, can design around their lessons, issue out to their students. It integrates with Google Classroom. And then students have the ability to utilize these tools in a very structured, guided format, which does a couple of things. It gives them new experiences, new tools that they can use. But it also gives them exposure to AI in a safe way so that they can start to learn. One of the things that they talk about quite a bit in the demos of Magic School is that the chatbot, which they call Reina, it's very quick to correct students when they engage with Reina, or make it very clear throughout that this is a tool and that it is not a person that you are talking to. So it helps to break away that emotional connection that is easy to form, because that positive feedback loop that you get when you're talking to ChatGPT and all it wants to do is please you, this doesn't do that.
Yeah, I like that. And I think some of the concern is just also that critical thinking piece, right? We really want to feel like this is then feeding back something to the students where they're going to the next level, that it's not me as an adult. I worry about the AI component doing for you. And if we're working with students, we want that scaffolding, but we want the student, to come away with like, what have they created? Now, this is, like you said, it's a tool, just like you're putting together, a barn shed, it's a tool, but we want to feel like the students are definitely at the forefront of that process, that they're the thinkers.
Yes, and that the teachers are kind of guiding that process all along the way and monitoring it. So the use of these tools for the students is there's total transparency on I'm sorry, I'm staring at the ceiling as if you can see me. It's just so, yeah. But the teacher has full transparency into what the students are doing within their class. So they see all the things that are being fed into prompts. They're seeing how the students are interacting with the tools. There's also, of course, almost meta AI, but there's AI that's watching the AI, so that if there are concerning signs where students are engaging in it inappropriately, it helps alert, teachers and to school officials. So.
Yeah, I like the educational guardrails that seem to be here, because anything else is not necessarily education friendly. It's not oriented to our industry, and that's a huge boost.
Agreed. Thank you.
Nicole, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions. Good job, Matt.
Thank you,
We
Director.
have to move in this direction.
It's an exciting time we live in.
Erica has 2 questions, all the bonus points.
Who designed Magic School? Like, what are they associated with another company, or?
They are their own company. They're
Okay.
out of Aurora, Colorado. And so Aurora, Colorado, their school district was the first to be part of it. So they've been Magic School from the beginning. So they didn't start with, like a spinoff of another big company. But yeah, totally education. Most of the people that I have talked to that work with Magic School are former educators. So there's a really that seems to be the culture that you see.
And so, like, can you show me how Magic School could create maybe some support for a teacher wanting to design, maybe adjust a lesson for a student who has dyslexia?
Sure. So that's let's see what we can do for that.
Very specific.
So one of the first tools that is really recommended is the tool recommendation tool. So it helps teachers, what are you trying to do? And then this is kind of the tool that might help you do it. So I pop into the tool recommendations. I could see an example for that. So when I pop on the show exemplar, we can see that, hey, I'm a special education teacher, co-teaches math and science. What tools would be helpful for frog dissection, teaching vocabulary? And then it breaks it all down. So what I'm going to do is, let's say I'll go 4th grade, and we'll say, let's see here. We're doing a lesson on
Frogs.
Frogs. Let's do it. We're doing a lesson on frogs, and I have a student, dyslexia. How best can I differentiate my lesson? And I didn't give it any information on the lesson here, but I could also bring in what standards am I working on? How is this aligning to district curricula? But let's just start to begin with. And AI is a interactive process. It is a back and forth. So as you're working with this, you adapt your prompts. So these are some examples that it is starting right off the bat. Now this is just kind of that free open tier. And so where this is lacking some of the power is that with the district platform, aside from all the security enhancements, but we can preload all the different standards that are in there. So we can bring in NGSS, we can bring in Common Core, Washington State Learning Standards, we can bring in specific Arlington standards so that it can then align to what we're doing. We can share things across grade levels, across buildings, so that we know what we're doing over, Pioneer versus what we're doing in President, so that we can kind of find alignment there too. But anyway, this is just generic without it knowing anything more about us or our district. But these are the different tools that it's recommending, but then you can jump into those. So I can look at that assignment scaffolder, which is the number one that it recommended. And so then I put in the assignment, again, that grade level, and then break it down to how do I need to scaffold this for this particular kiddo.
Advisor Van Beek, what are your thoughts about this? This is going to be a student advisory vote.
Very excited about that.
I mean, I think it's a cool tool and that it's safe for like students, but I mean, as a student, I honestly feel like AI is kind of like, it takes away a lot of stuff from students from getting one-on-one learning from the actual teacher in class. And I feel like being able to ask AI like questions and getting feedback instead of asking like your classmates or your teacher, I feel like it just takes a lot away like mentally from a kid. And like I know I have like it's like adapted to like not like get those like emotional connections, but I still feel like just as a student, that's just how I feel about it. And I'm more one-on-one learning from a person and asking questions from a teacher. But I think it's a cool tool. Cool. But
Could I ask a question?
Yeah.
I'm curious. So what are you finding amongst your peers? What's the use level of things like ChatGPT that you're?
I feel like they use it a lot instead of asking the teacher, because it just takes away a lot and they're not getting the exposure they need in class. And
one of the benefits to Magic School that a lot of districts that I've talked to have implemented it is they take different approaches. It's very flexible with how districts approach it. But most of them restrict all of those other platforms for their student users. Some even do it for their staff as well. But they restrict ChatGPT and Gemini and those tools. And then what happens is when students go to it, it directs them back into Magic School. So I don't mean it to be like a defeatist kind of mindset. It really is. I think AI is just going to continue to be used heavily. But if we can have a little bit of a hand maybe in how we guide that, or if we can have, I agree with you. I was an English major. That was how I started, and I'm still bemoaning the fact of ebooks, but progress, I guess. Thank you.
That's great feedback. Thank you for sharing. This is a student advisory vote. So student advisor Van Beek, how would you vote for this Magic School Service Agreement?
I vote yeah. Sacredly do that.
Do we have a motion to approve our Magic School Service Agreement?
Make a motion to approve the Magic School Service.
I will second that.
It's been moved by Director Knapp and seconded by Director Diamond to approve the Magic School Service Agreement. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond?
Yes.
Director Kelly?
Yes.
Director Watts?
Yes.
President Levesque?
Yes.
Director Knapp?
Oh, yes.
It's late.
It is almost bedtime. All right, thank you, Dr. Jurek. I think we all want to see a demo later.
It will be.
Okay.
Thank you, Board.
That brings us to our informational items. We'll start with our superintendent's report. Dr. Sweet.
So it's really great to have simply amazing staff and students. And so I'm just very proud. I'm also proud that last week we did honor our Rotary outstanding students. And once again, these were amazing students coming from all different perspectives and different talents. And then we had students that went to New York and did an amazing job of performing at the Tartan Parade. So proud of them, and also proud that, it was a little challenging getting back. And then we had our flight students from Arlington High School that went to Southern California and did an amazing job down there. So just overall, we have a lot to be proud of, and I am very proud of our students and our staff.
Thank you. Legislative update and discussion. Director Kelly, any updates for us for the legislature?
Not too much. I did see that Dr. Sweeting had posted that Representative Del Benny will be at our school here about a week and a half. I think that visit will be great. I think it's just, I don't know if it's just at the high school, but always good to have the federal level of participation. And we had our meeting, our DA1 regional meeting last week. I think it was the highest attendance. And Joe was very proud of that. They're very excited. We were quite the host, apparently. People were very impressed and liked the venue. And it just was, like I said, I'm very happy that it was so well attended. This weekend, I'm part of the legislative committee, and I'm not going to that because it requires 2 days in Spokane. Not something I can really do right now, but look forward to, they're looking at paring down the proposals and the resolutions that we consider at the General Assembly in September. So I think they go in with that committee goes in with the intent of, is there overlap? Are there proposals that are redundant, or, should we take them off? So I really appreciate the work that they will be doing this weekend. Other than that, not too much. Just looking forward to, as I've expressed with Dr. Sweeting, I would very much like to consider having our Youth Mental Health Forum in the fall. The legislative session starts, I believe, like the first Tuesday in January, so very early on, and it is the long session. So it would be my intent to have this session with our students and our legislators where they could attend. And when I talked to Logan, I had coffee with him last Tuesday. He felt that the sweet spot for that would maybe be the week after election week and the before Thanksgiving and our WASDA conference. So something to consider. So that's what I'm kind of aiming for. So if we can aim with that, I would just love our students to be heard by as many legislators as we can. And I definitely would like some folks at the state level. So that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Director Kelly. Next up, it's our comments from our board members. I'd like to start with our student advisors. So, Maddie.
I don't know, I don't have a lot. Getting closer to graduation, and I'm excited to graduate. I got to represent as a board member at the Weston Student Voices, and I liked hearing all the input from the people I go to school with. It was really fun. I wasn't the one talking this time. It's a little different, but I liked getting all listening. I'm good at listening, just not speaking sometimes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I loved getting to see all the Simply Amazing people get their awards, and the I just forgot what it's called. The people from the community came and spoke. I just forgot what it's called. Yes, that. I love hearing that, and yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I think you were a very good speaker. Great. Thank you. Director Kelly, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I do always appreciate the hearing the recognition and the words. I'm actually quite surprised that this is the first I think I'm hearing that Kim Deisher Allen is being acknowledged. I mean, she's such a powerhouse. I think we're all in her shadow. She's quite an amazing individual, but I really appreciate that we narrowed down to sort of one student and one staff member. And I definitely think that's a highlight. I know that people enjoy sharing that praise of people that are doing so well in our school district. And I just think that's great. It makes me feel like we're doing some good things, doing some good work. Other than that, nope, just being a teacher with squirrely children. Spring fever has hit hard, and I'm not sure I'm going to quash it for 7 more weeks, but I will go down trying. And so it's all good. Just happy for the sunshine.
Thank you, Director Kelly. Director Watts, anything you would like to share with us tonight? She's still there? I don't know if she's still there.
Yep, I'm here.
Yes, she is
I love
here.
that we recognize our students and staff in such a great way. I really hope that more public comment does come, so we are not making decisions just blindly and they can have a voice. Track and field is underway, and Arlington's done an amazing job and won several of the meets. It's been fun to learn about the field events and pull away from distance running a little bit. So, and then the WASDA regional meeting was really informative, and I really liked the creative ideas that came out on getting our community involvement as well as our state reps. So kind of give some good fresh ideas, and I miss all of you in person, and see you next time.
Thank you for sharing. We miss you too. Director Diamond, anything you'd like to add?
Congratulations to all the Simply Amazing staff and students. Wish they could do more, but
We'd be here a long time.
yeah, that's all I got.
Director Nat.
I also would like to say congratulations to all the Simply Amazing staff and students that were here tonight, and all the support people. That was so great to see. Are the student advisor applications still open?
They'll
So-
be first.
Okay, so I wanted to mention that, like I saw a couple of high school students here tonight. I guess what I wanted to say was that it's kind of some challenging decisions for me tonight. I just want to recognize that sometimes being a leader challenges your morals, and you need to really think about, what's best for the school district and the community. Public comment does help. I do appreciate hearing when people write emails, when they come to speak at meetings. It really does help us form some decisions that we have to make. And they're really hard. I liked the list of really bad ideas that Gina, I liked that phrase, because when it comes to the budget, it's starting to feel really tough. It's getting harder the last few years. So thank you, Gina. I do appreciate Maddie's thoughts on AI as well. I wish that we could be like, no, just put a hard stop to it, but it's here, and so we need to think about how to keep the students and the staff safe. It was really fun to go to the school tours to see SVLC, and we saw the preschool, and then over to Post Middle School, walking around there and hearing a little bit of history from Mr. DeYoung. So anyway, happy to be here. Happy that all the students who were out in different parts of the country are now home and
Yes.
attending school and safe and maybe recovered or recovering.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
I want to echo that sentiment about how we've had to have some really hard conversations, and we struggle. It's not just our district that struggles with budget. There's a lot of other districts that are facing the exact same predicament and having to make cuts and not hire back all the people that we really need to provide the education and resources to help our kids reach their full potential. It's heartbreaking that we just don't have enough resources out there, and so it weighs heavily on my mind too. Even the good that is around us, it's everywhere. There's lots of good around us. There was a phenomenal number of people here tonight. I think this is the first Simply Amazing that I've been at that we've had 100% of every student and staff member from every single school attend in person. I think that's remarkable, and it says a lot about our community and how much they love and support their people and how tight knit our community is. We really do have a good group of families and staff that want to see everybody succeed. I wanted to share that I got to go on the field trip to New York with the band. I was an unofficial chaperone and had a grand adventure in the Big Apple. I'm wearing my Apple earrings from New York. And we had a great time being tourists and watching and observing our huge group move through this huge city. We had 129 in our group of groupie families and staff and chaperones and students. And there was, I think, 95 students were there. And it was just phenomenal amount of effort and logistical preparation and planning of uniforms and boxes and airlines and buses and who's in which group and who's checking with this person, and just an amazing amount of organization and hard work. And I know I got to see up close and personal how our staff responded during a very significant challenge of having 107 of us escorted off of our airplane. After we had already been cleared for departure, we had to go back to the gate and unload 107 people off of the airplane with all of their belongings and all the uniform boxes and all the large instrument boxes and a lot of sick children at the gate. And it was just our band director is incredible, and our chaperones are absolutely incredible, and our families, even though it was incredibly challenging, they all were so patient and gracious and understanding, even though they really wanted their children home. And my heart broke for the students that were stressed out and overwhelmed and exhausted. We played so hard and we marched and danced and lived up the most amazing adventure with a music festival and a parade and not Eiffel Tower, Empire State Building and Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. And there was just really some incredible events that we participated in, and to have not going home on time. And it's sleep in an airport. And it was a crazy adventure. And I was able to see the good that came out of it, where kids took care of each other and kids were hugging each other and parents were hugging each other, and we all took care of each other. And it was a testament to the strength of our community again. And I was also got to go to the Civics Bee and be a judge, and got to see our community come together with elected officials and city council and our Chamber of Commerce, and just see how much our community loves and supports our students and our education, and how I wish that translated into more money in our budget, but it doesn't. But we have a lot of great resources out there. We just don't have enough money, and it breaks my heart. So that's all I want to say tonight. I'm going to get off my soapbox, and I want to remind everybody about our next couple meetings. We have a special joint meeting with Lakewood School District on Monday, May 4th, be with you in the Lincoln Room at 5:30. And our regular meeting is on Monday, May 11th in the boardroom at 6 p.m. And with that, do we have a motion to?
I would like to make a
I have a motion to.
I second.
It's been moved by Director Watts and seconded by Director Kelly to adjourn the meeting. Yes, sir. Director Diamond.
Yes.
Director Kelly.
Yes.
Director Watts.
Yes.
President Levesque. Yes. Director Knapp. Yes. Meeting is adjourned.